What's going on, everybody? It's your man D Got Sense here, back with another video. And the topic of today's video is: did you age out or did you grow out? And like always, the now this is an actual quote of mine. At least I'm the first that I think of that started coining this and saying it. But did you age out or grow out? Because I don't think this topic is really talked about enough. And I'll give you a small little insight. I'll give you a small insight into that. And what I mean is, some people you can have a 12-year-old man and a 33-year-old boy. You see what I'm saying? Or you could have and I ain't gonna say that when people, misinterpret and taking it around with it. But once you get to the end of this, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So let's get started. In life, everyone has the same beginning, with their journey being led by a parent, a guardian that takes them down a path of that which is directed by decisions. Once anyone reaches adulthood, the world no longer cares if your parents gave you the correct information regarding the obstacles life will throw at you. At some point in your adult life, or even before, it should become apparent that you're responsible for learning the necessary life lessons to navigate through the world if you haven't received answers to your questions, which leads me to one question: did you age out or grow out? So, this whole topic comes from just the environment around us in the world today, right? In America, it's very evident that you have people that aged out of scenes. First off, let me break down what aging out what versus growing out means. Right? So aging out is whenever someone physically their body is physically getting older, but their mind isn't aging with them, right? That's how you get people that are in their 40s still acting like they're in their 20s, right? They aged out of the environment, meaning that you too old to still be in the scene, still be on the scene, right? It's kind of like if you still see, uh, a 50-year-old dude on the block hanging out with some YNs. You know what I mean? When you have someone that aged out, what tends to happen is they never grew up, right? They never advanced their mentality in any area to understand that, hey, there's more to life than making hasty decisions. There's more to life than living on impulse. So when someone ages out, more times than not, they will be more than likely uh, they'll more than likely repeat mistakes, right? They'll more than likely, if you were to throw them back in time, they will go do the same exact thing again. And let me give you an example. If someone, let's say they're in their 20s, they like clubbing a lot, and then they start to slowly get older and older. Their friends are getting married, or they're settling down, they're getting out of that scene, right? So there's no one for them to go with, so they just eventually stop going. That's aging out, right? They never mentally understood that there's more to life than living the fast life and living the nightlife and having a real purpose to yourself, and not being in that socially toxic environment. That's an example of aging out. So growing out can happen at various stages, or it happen in various stages also depending on the person as well. Um, the way someone grows out is usually through self-development or hard life lessons. Um, it's kind of like if you get jammed up rolling with the wrong crowd and you learn a very valuable lesson super young about hanging around people that will put you in a situation that you can't get yourself out of, and it's gonna sit you down in the big boy daycare for a while. Um, like I said, it can come from hard life lessons, or you could learn from watching other people's mistakes, right? Like I always say, there's two types of people in this world. There's people that have to make the mistakes to learn them, and then there's people that can watch others and learn from their mistakes. You never really want to be the first person. Now, granted, we've all been on both sides of the spectrum, but more times than not, you want to be the one looking at everyone else make the mistakes, and you have the understanding to know that that's not good and to avoid it. So that's the definition of growing out, right? Your mind has advanced past your environment. A lot of people that usually move away from their hometown, get away from everything, finally get some alone time, and they start to come into a deep relationship with themselves, and they start to understand what their true characteristics are. Do you value integrity? Do you value honor? Do you value courage? Do you value a connection to God or the Most High? Do you value um, how much do you value monetary gain? You know what I mean? Like a lot of people don't have integrity and dignity about themselves, right? And when you get alone, you're able to start answering these types of questions about yourself. Excuse me. You can't really answer you can't really answer these questions when you're around everyone and you haven't grown out of the environment that you were once in. And let's be honest, at some point you're either going to age out or grow out. That's why this topic is so important, because you must understand that there is only two options, and it's aging out and growing out. If you age out, just understand you're behind the curve of someone that should be expected, or you're behind the curve when it comes to your status in the community, right? Once you become 40, 50, you should be the one teaching the youth about what to do and what not to do, not running alongside them, right? And a lot of people don't want to hear that, because you have to understand this. In order to truly grow in life, you must take accountability. And a lot of people are scared to face the reality that they were the own villain. They were their own villain in their origin story, right? Their whole descent downwards started with their own decision making. And that's a hard reality for most to face. But those that grow out quickly understand that it's up to them and it's on them, and possibly they're in that predicament because of them, and it allows them to slowly move forward and to come into some true wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. So we all must understand that aging out and growing out are the only two options for everyone in existence, right? Now, thankfully, uh, you have time to figure this out, right? And and what I mean by that, it doesn't matter what stage of life you're in, right? So if you're a 40-year-old and moving like you in your 20s or early 30s, so let's say you're in your late 40s, coming up, in your 50s, you moving like you're in your early 30s. Thankfully for you, if you seriously buckle down and focus on self-development, you can catch up and be mentally ahead as someone in their 70s. You see what I'm saying? That's the natural progression of life for all humans, and it's to evolve mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and financially, to give back to the people that are coming after us, right? To pass something down. Too many people in this world are stuck on monetary gain, leaving generational wealth. Yeah, you leaving generational wealth, but you also leaving back that generational trauma too. And that's what no one wants to talk about. Money is vanity. Eventually all that fades away. What happens if you got that's why all these rich people knocking themselves off, man. You can have $1 billion and still be miserable, right? But if you are rich in joy and happiness, you're the wealthiest man on the planet. You see the difference? So when it comes to aging out and growing out, you must make a conscious decision to decide to get ahead of the curve. And let's be honest, we all want to be able to duck the smoke that life got coming at you. Because if we're being um, if we're being seriously honest, life don't sugarcoat, life don't hold its punches, life don't faint, life throw a straight jab and a mean straight left coming behind that. You know what I'm saying? Life is not to be played with, cause it ain't, cause you can play with life, but it ain't gonna play with you. Um, and a lot of people don't want to hear that, but that's the truth and reality of the matter. And what's sad is most people realize it entirely too late. And I will say this though, because I've said it quite a bit. Um, we got to get rid of this notion that now there is some truth to this, right? But there's also another side to this coin. Everyone learns at their own pace. I was breaking this down to my family the other day, and I said this. Yes, you can learn at your own pace, right? But if we're being honest, there does come a point in time when you can learn a lesson entirely too late. I'll give you an example. If you were to start driving at 16 or learn how to drive at 16 and you start driving at 16, you can then go apply the skills and abilities you've learned. If you are an 80-year-old individual and you first learn to drive, you're really not going to be able to apply that as if you were in your teens or early 20s or 30s or 40s, 50s, all the way up until that time frame or that time that you're elderly. So that's a small example, right? And I know you all could probably think of more, but there are lessons you can learn too late, like like properly saving money, properly then investing that saved money and compounding it over the course of years. If you start trying to do that in well into your 70s, there's that you've learned that lesson too late. So take this as a warning. Yes, you only live once, but boy, you better plan for you having a long life too. So you got to find balance in this life of joy, pleasure, pain, righteousness, and wickedness. And when it comes to that righteousness and wickedness, it's 100% you trying to be righteous and you trying to flee that wickedness with all your might. So, and also, if you start trying to live a less wicked life according to the commandments of Yah, man, you're not even gonna be in certain situations. You're not even gonna be in certain environments. You're going to naturally grow out of them just off the principles of the Bible alone. You know what I mean? Um, so when it comes down to it, you have a decision to make. And like I previously said in the last portion of this quote, or not quote, of the statement I wrote, um, which leads me to one question. Did you age out or did you grow out? Or are you currently aging out or are you currently growing out? With that being said, this is D Got Sense, and y'all be blessed. Um, y'all be blessed. Follow the Most High. Believe on the Mashiach. Repent of your sins. Um, with that being said, I'm out.